Here, we're going to be bringing some news to the world. That's right. Some news out there to the world. We've got a special guest here. We're going to be bringing on for a really enjoyable experience. We had the pleasure of working with someone, Shadow Serpents, who said, "Hey, you know what? We wanted to bring a new thing out there to the world that esports has never seen. We've always had, obviously high intensity games, the competitive shooters, the normal stuff, right? But what about a world where we could play something that wasn't a battle royale or a MOBA? Now you've got something interesting." So she decided, hey, you know what? Why don't we go talk with Ham, since we, obviously had worked out craziness, they said. Why don't we talk with Ham, since we've already obviously had experience in our interview set, and let's bring some hype to the industry. Because I got to tell you, man, even I'm excited about watching it. I know we've always seen a ton of creators that exist out there, anything from Shadow Serpents to Silver John, Glam, Maestro, tons and tons and tons of people have been incredibly involved in the scene. And so I would love the opportunity to share with you guys this wonderful announcement that we're going to start seeing some really cool stuff coming from the esports side of things around the great game. So if you could, let's give a warm welcome out there to Shadow Serpents, and more importantly, the beautiful news that exists out there in the world. Shadow Serpents, welcome. Welcome.
Hello.
So, guys, this is Shadow Serpents. Nilla, hello. How are you? Walpers, hello. So Shadow Serpents, how's your week been?
Crazy.
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 So what have you what have you been working? Why has it been so crazy?
Well, it's been more than a week. It's just been pure insanity the whole, it's been like a whole month, because when I do things fast, apparently.
Right.
So I know I'm not the first person to come up with this idea, but apparently I'm the first person to, I don't know how to state it delicately, but have the cojones to actually put it in place. So I never understood, I like esports. I think it's amazing. Love everything they do, but there's no horror genre. And I know why that is. There's a lack of competitive games out there. Kind of. Or at least ones that people view as competitive games. But see, Dead by Daylight, the whole community, even the ones that want to just have fun, are ridiculously competitive. They don't know how to stop. Even when you're trying to have a fun game, it ends up being competition. So I said, why don't we add Dead by Daylight to esports? And that's what we've been doing for the past month and a half.
Timeline wise, what are we ultimately looking at?
Actually, end of the month. So not a lot of time, but I really wanted to drop it and just let people go into crazy competitive let's practice mode, today, tomorrow, for the next 2 weeks, because the very first esports competition is going to be on September 27th.
Holy crap.
So that's soon.
That's really soon. So, all right.
Yeah.
So obviously, with such a short time span, and the idea that you want to try and get people hyped up, amped up, ready to go, and really get into the thick of trying to play professionally, right? Or, practice to play professionally. That's not a whole lot of time to practice. So I would assume you've already started working with some of the creators that exist out there in order to start drawing the attention and say, look, this is going to be a thing. Trust me.
Yeah, I've been dropping hints here and there. I've been letting everybody I know to, get their practice on. But that's the funny thing about this game is that everybody's already in practicing, whether they knew it or not. Everyone's like, "Oh, I do that all the time." Like I would throw out, "Oh, a theoretical. Well, what about this kind of stuff?" Like, and they would be like, "Oh, I do that already on a daily basis."
Okay.
So there's only maybe one thing that they would have to actually work on to actually make it happen, and that's the particular way you have to run such a complicated game, because it is. Like, we love the game. It's got bugs, it's got things, but that's kind of another. Everybody works with the bugs. Everybody.
Well, I mean, what game
uses
doesn't have
them
bugs?
as another part of the game. Yeah, every game has bugs. I think this is one of the only games where the community likes the bugs as much as we complain. We make a thing out of them. We make videos. We make fun of it. We make it part of the game. And when they fix it, we're sad. Like, there are very few bugs that they fixed that the community has been like, "Oh man, I missed that one though."
Right.
But
So,
like, see, the big thing that's going to be hard for people to do, and I'm actually going to try to help people with that. I'm thinking of making a Discord just in case it's needed. Is that most people, you either play with your group of survivor friends or you're a killer. But for the tournament, you need to have your 4 survivor friends and a killer, because that's your team. It's based on actual esports where you have a team and you are scored as a team.
so tell us about the scoring method. Like, give us some information. Obviously, with it just around the corner, we need to know the details.
Yeah, and that's going to be very important. So the scoring thing, I could have gotten really complicated. I had a think tank. We had a lot of people input stuff, and people wanted to get really complicated with it. And so you can't, though, because the way the tournaments run, you have to be able to be in control of the match in some way. And so in what used to be called Kill Your Friends, which is now custom games, at the end of the match, you don't make blood points, you don't make anything, but you do make a score, and you can get up to 32,000 points, and it's 8,000 each category. So basically, we add that together, what you make, that plus your team, so your whole team, that gets added together, plus what your killers make and off of murdering somebody else, and your team will move up with all your points combined up the bracket until we have our very first winner.
Gotcha.
It's a
So-
simple way to do it, and it's better off simple, because there would be so many people that would complain, "Oh, well, that's not fair." So I love my toxic Dead by Daylight community, and I tried to make it as perfect and straightforward and simple, yet nobody can argue with the point system. What you make is
Right.
what you do. I want
Right.
to see an all around how good you are at this game, because that's what the best players do. They do everything.
So in the timeline of the game, then, you know, like when you're talking about like brackets and moving up and doing a whole competition, is this like something that would end up taking multiple days? Like, how many teams are in a bracket by average?
For the first one, we're gonna have it just be one day. You know, this is the we're throwing this out here. Let's see how you guys handle it, and we're gonna go from there. I plan on continuing this. I want to have another one in October. We're gonna work with it. Maybe we'll have finals, semifinals, and then the epic winner. But for the first one, it's you sign up, you play, we're watching, we're judging, we have a commentator, we have everything going, and they'll just be the winner that day. Now, moving forward, we're gonna make it a lot more epic. But for this first one, we wanted people to feel how it can be.
Right.
Now, I don't know if there's a team cutoff yet. We're seeing how many people sign up, how many people are interested. If it gets over too many, obviously we can't be going for 24 hours.
Right.
So when I drop the link, you want your team, you want to sign up, you want to be talking to your friends, you want to get ready, say, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And I'm not even looking, like, you don't even have to be a streamer for this. You want to be a streamer? Great. Stream your stuff, talk to your audience, do whatever you want to do. But you don't have to be a streamer with, like, tons of followers. You can just be a good player that wants to show off to the world, "Hey, this is what I can do." Because that should be out there in the world already. I want to see you. I want to see you at your hardest, your best, your most craziness. Like there's some rules so we can't get too toxic about things because we do tend to teabag and camp the hook and stuff like that. There's a very simple set list of rules. It's gonna be very easy to follow. It's not hard to figure out at all. I'll be posting everything. I'll be sharing everything. Like nothing will be hidden.
So where are you going to be
excited.
like showcasing a lot of this information so that way people can start looking at it? Because I guarantee you, like obviously with such a short time period between now and your first tournament, people are going to want to
They're gonna
have
wanna
that
know.
detailed information ready.
Well, I do have the links. I have the link for the sign up. On the sign up is simple rules right there. You have to read it right as you're signing up for you and your team. You can sign up separate. I know people might not have a team. Like, hey, I'm a killer. I don't have a bunch of friends. We're
Right.
working on that too. It's going to be all over my Twitter. You can come into my channel. I'm working on a Discord right now. Just very basic one. You can go in there and be like, hey, I need a group. Stuff like that. I'm going to be posting it everywhere. People are going to be sharing it everywhere. It's there and it's ready, and I'm ready to give it to everybody and excited about this whole thing. And
So
moving forward, making it bigger.
when you're talking about like some people are killers, obviously some people are survivors. The idea behind like people joining as a team, like you've got 4 people who would join as survivors. Are you planning on doing anything down the road for like a switch up where hey, one person has to join up as a killer and then face the opponent's team as like a survivor slash killer back and forth?
Well, the way it works now is that your team's killer faces somebody else's survivors, and vice versa. So it's kind of already doing that. But I think it would be fun to play around with this and see what we could do. Like people that normally don't play killer, throw them in and see what they do. People that normally don't play survivor, but most good Dead by Daylight players know that if you want to be a good survivor, you have to play killer. If you want to be a good killer, you have to play survivor. That's how the game's always been, because you can't know what's going on the other side if you don't at least try. You don't have to be good at it. You just have to go in and see for yourself. So almost everybody I know plays both. And that's a community-wide thing. Whether you say you're a killer main or a survivor main, you've been on the other side. We've watched it. We've seen you.
So I with the whole shift of going into esports too, like have you contacted any companies outside of, let's say, like Dead by Daylight, let's say Logitech or Corsair or Steel Series or anything like that, and start saying like, hey, we're planning on starting up this competition, would you guys have any interest in maybe getting involved, saying like, hey, our DBD pros use this hardware?
Well, the cool thing about that is that the reason I'm able to do this is because I'm actually in an esports team, which seems insane because I play a lot of games, but I wouldn't say I'm a god at any of them. Even on Dead by Daylight, yes, I'm well known. Yes, I'm really good at what I do. But, competitively, even I'm going to have a problem. Maybe. We'll find out. I might end up in the tournament. I don't know. Not this one. But Brutal Democracy Gaming is the esports team I'm in, and I was lucky enough to get in there and to throw this idea down, and where most people would have been like, I don't know if it can be done. In fact, if you look at Reddit is thoroughly convinced that it's an amazing idea that can never happen. And I don't like being told no, so I'm making it happen. But Brutal Democracy didn't even hesitate, not even a single breath. They were like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant, let's go with it. They're the ones that are hosting it. They're the ones that are making this happen, all on the end of stuff that, I'm not maybe the best with. Yeah, give me time, but, like stuff that, I don't know how to run a tournament. I've got the basic idea, but they're doing all of that. And with them comes people that, they're affiliated with and different stuff. And, I didn't reach out directly to anybody yet because I want to see how it goes. I want to see how many people are into it. I know there's a lot of people into it. We've been asking, I've been having people go out and ask. I've been kind of being a sneaky little ninja and trying to figure out, gauge the interest in this. And I think that the companies will actually come to us.
Well, and so when
It's
you're
just-
talking about, you know, like
yeah.
how many people are into it, what's the maximum team size that you're expecting? Is it going to be like, you know, 5 people? Like what's the split when you're talking
no.
about the money? You know, that's always a large concern is like, hey, if the prize pool is $50,000, how many ways do we have to split it?
Well, I wish we could afford a prize pool that big off the bat, but that's,
Well, I'm just
yeah.
just
I get what
example.
you're saying. Well, yeah, and with the prize pool with the 5 people, that's something we have a starter prize pool right now. I'm actually, and I have been working on upping that and seeing if we can come up with something second and third place as well, because I mean I'm pretty much guaranteed at least a minimum of 50 teams, which is huge, but not as big. Like after gauging interest, after being a sneaky ninja, after going through everything, the amount of people that want this to happen and that will enter, even if I take a third of that down, it was mildly overwhelming, is the nicest way I could put it. Like, I
Right.
knew it would be a big thing. I knew people would be excited to do it. I had no idea how many people would lose their minds over this.
Right.
But luckily, I always think bigger. So I kind of had a plan put ahead for that. You know, if you don't make it in this first one, don't worry. I'm already planning a second one, and we're thinking about bigger things and different ones, so we can make it a whole spectacle, an event, something to be excited for, something to look forward to, something to participate in, and something that's never been done.
So in theory then, if you've already been working on trying to plan a secondary one, how often would these tournaments be taking place? Were you guys to say like, hey, you know what, this is 100%, like we want to continue with it, like full steam ahead, how often would you be seeing these tournaments?
Well, and that's a question you could ask any esports stuff, because most people in esports and most of the games have had a lot of time, and everything's set in stone, like a year ahead, you know. And since we're starting something completely new, I can't give time frames. I can only give, you know, what I would like to see happen. But it depends on teamwork and how many people are on board and how many people get involved in this whole thing. But, you know, like having one at the end of this month, like it's going to happen, and then having one for, I mean, come on, who doesn't want a Dead by Daylight tournament for Halloween? That's an esports tournament. That's why I'm pushing so hard for the second one. Beyond that, you know, is when we have to start taking things back and just, you know, taking a little bit more time. And we want this to be as good as it can be, not only for the people in the tournament, but for the people watching the tournament. And there's so much that goes into esports. Like, I had no idea. I'm gonna put that out there, me being me. I had no idea the amount of effort and people and just pure craziness that goes into something like this. But you have to think it like a regular sports thing too. There's so many people that help just, you know, like the Super Bowl happen. It's the same thing in esports. Even esports has its kind of Super Bowl things. So it's a whole lot to deal with. I can't give any concrete answers on any of that yet. Just know that I will be sitting here, and there are a lot of people involved that will be sitting here and working on it constantly to make it stay, get bigger, get better, get noticed, get loved, and be a permanent fixture in esports. And I won't give up. I'm stubborn, and you know, I'm like, this is my baby. This was my idea. I've been working on all of it. My fingers are all over it, and I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be brilliant, even though I don't have everything figured out yet. But that's how most places start.
What do the rule sets look like around, you know, like, hey, these killers are just absolutely not allowed? How do you plan on running the whole like spectator setup, match times, all of that?
All right, so this is the cool thing. The way that the game is set up is actually perfect for this, because Kill Your Friends, now custom matches, makes it to where we actually have every tool we need right at our fingertips. Okay, so for the survivor and the killer, they go right in, they get set up, and then you have a spectator. And so the spectator gets to be the commentator. And big news here, but Peril Sparks, the most non-toxic, we all know that's wrong, person on DBD, streamer extraordinaire, is excited. He's going to be our commentator for the very first one. Hopefully, I get to keep him around for a couple others too. But he was really into this, and so being able to see it from his view, we're going to be able to actually watch from all their angles too. So we'll be able to watch out for anybody trying any sneaky stuff. And it is crossplay, so we have to watch out for different things that can be done from consoles, Switches, and PC. But we'll be able to enforce the rules because we're going to be able to see every single thing that everybody does just from the way that it's already built into the game. Most games don't kind of have that. You can maybe like scroll around or do whatever, but most games don't have the ability for us to be in there as enforcers and actually looking at each character and what they're doing. And this one does.
Nice.
So it's very handy.
Nice. So, obviously it sounds like you guys have been planning around it pretty extensively. But are you planning on doing like any buy-ins for the first one, or is it all free? Do you guys have a prize pool at all? Is it just for the purpose of like bragging rights, or?
Most of it, I will admit, will be bragging rights for the first one. Most of it will be bragging rights for the first one because, we want to streamline it, see how it goes, gauge interest, and all that stuff. There is a prize pool right now. I want to make it bigger.
Okay.
Because there is 5 people that will win as a team, and the breakdown on that. The prize pool right now is only $100, which broken in between 5 people isn't that much. I'm going to try to see if I can up that. I usually don't have a problem doing that. I think some people will contribute. I'll ask, hey, if you want to, but I'm not requiring any buy-ins or anything yet. Maybe in the future, but buy-in tournaments can be a little bit weird, and I'm not particularly a fan of them per se. But seeing how things go in the future, and I mean, look, even if you only make, I can't math, so whatever, like $20, $25 a person, for winning this, you can say, I won the first official esports tournament of Dead by Daylight.
Right.
Which is huge.
Right.
Alone, the bragging rights, all your friends will be like, you're a liar. And then you'll be like, watch the vid. Hold on, I've got it recorded. It'll be out there. We're going to be highly promoting the people that win because I want to see that excitement. I want to see who wins. I'm so excited to see what weird skills people pull out and things I've never seen before. And then I'm going to learn them, and then I'm going to use them.
So looking forward after like the first tournament, like, are you guys going to be using that, or like, are you looking for anything in specific for information on how to gauge that for the second? Like, are you looking for like, okay, no matter what, in all of the competitive aspects of this, like this specific killer is always used by every single team. This might be something we have to look at.
That would disappoint me. Yeah, in the first one, we're not banning any killers or any survivors. The only thing that we looked at and we tried to make it fair is you can't bring any offerings in because then you could bring in a map that's highly killer biased or highly survivor biased or whatever. And I don't want it to be like, oh, and the maps will be randomized. They will be randomized completely. You won't know what you're going to play on until you're there, which is great. And then also, there's a couple, and this may or may not piss people off, but it's a very small price to pay. With the offerings, you can't bring in a Mori, because that's an offering, and a Mori is where you just kill people. But honestly, even if you did, you'd be kind of screwing yourself out of points. Since it's a point-based tournament at the end, Moris don't get you anything. Hooks do. And on the Survivor side, don't bring in a key. We're not letting you bring in keys. Like, you find one on the map and chest, good for you. But you don't get to bring that in. And to balance that out, there are pink add-ons and offerings, Survivor and Killer side, that can really make a player that's maybe not so good and be able to make them have a little bit more of an advantage than they possibly should. So we're getting rid of those. Everything else is going to be available. All add-ons, all offerings, all perks, everything. Just no offerings brought into the map, and no pink items, and no pink, add-ons for the killer. Like, it's a very simple thing. It's stated right in the rules. You agree to it when you do it. If you do it, you get, booted. you're out of the competition. You know, like it's a couple little things that maybe I'm hoping it'll help, because we don't want the same buyers running around with the ability to see people through walls and then just kill them. And then that's a boring game that doesn't last very long. Nobody gets to see anybody's skills, and it takes all of 5 minutes. And we're like, well, where was the skill? We want to see the skill.
Right. So, like, is there like a maximum time that you're going to be looking at in order to add to the level of suspense that you would normally get? I know DBD can sometimes end up feeling a little bit slower. So, you know, to counterbalance that, like, some of those matches can go on for a while. I mean, I've watched some people take, you know, half an hour or something. So,
yeah, but that's usually when there's a few toxic things that we're trying to put a little stop to. Like, especially, honestly, the way the point system works, you're not going to want to make a match drag out for 30 minutes, because you're not going to get the points you're looking for. People will worry about farming points. You can't do that and max your points for your team, because you have to think, if you hide in a corner, you're not going to get chase points. If you never see the killer, you're not going to get that. As the killer, if you kill everybody within seconds, you're not going to get points for damaging generators. Like, it's already set into place. It was just waiting for somebody to come along and be like, oh, hey, isn't this handy? And use the already built into game way they have for scoring.
So wait.
Like,
is there
the matches should be about the same? Yeah. I know you don't play Dead by Daylight. So
right, but I mean, like, so is there if a killer gets in and they manage to kill the entire team in less than 3 minutes, and they're an incredibly skilled player,
they're gonna be sad.
Wait, why? But if that's the skill balance,
straight murder. Well, see, all right. So the cool thing about Dead by Daylight is there's 4 categories. They score by 4 different categories. Okay, if I can pull it up here. No, I don't care about the news. I had it up, and then the Xbox said no. But at the end of the game, you get 4 categories, and that's for killer and survivor. And you get these categories depending on what you're doing. So at the end of the match, you get scored in each of the categories. So, like for survivor, you get scored for being altruistic, which is healing and unhooking, and being buddy with each other. You get scored for basically evading the killer, getting out of the chase, and stuff like that. Like, there's specific stuff, and a lot of the pro DVD players, and I call them pros even if they don't think they're pros.
Right.
They know this, and it may not be their play style, but they're going to want to switch it up for a tournament. Because if you're trying to maximize your points, number one, the killer's not going to be farming with you. We're going to shut that down if we see that at all. Because we're not trying to farm for points to win a tournament, and it's real obvious if you're doing that. Like, super obvious. So, we'll be watching. But, killer side, it's the same thing. So if you let everybody do gens, you're not going to get points. You disrupt people from doing generators, great. If you grab people, if you surprise scare them, there's more points for another category there. If you're just like murdering them in 2 minutes off the bat, you miss out on chases, you miss out on the surprise factor, you miss out on destruction, you miss out on all kinds of things. And it's the same on the survivor end. And anybody that's played the game that wants blood points knows, oh crap, it even gives you a little tally at the end going, you didn't do this, or, oh, you farmed your friend off that hook right in front of the killer. No. And for the killer, if you camp the hook, you lose points. The game automatically penalizes you for that. Like, I've never seen a better point system. They worked long and hard on this. I cannot give enough love to Dead by Daylight and the developers. As much crap as they get, they work so good at it that there's a point system in place for not only making these matches last longer than 2 minutes, but making sure they don't last too long, because even at the end, you can't just stand around anymore. You'll immediately die. There's a little timer that goes down at the end when all the generators are done, or when you're the last survivor. And you'll just be, the entity will eat you because you didn't leave. So, that's fun.
So what else are you excited about? Obviously, in the startup or the creation of this, that you think is really going to make a difference in the world of the esports scene. Normally you see shooters, obviously, like Apex or Overwatch or Call of Duty, Fortnite. Like those are always the primary focuses because of the intensity of the gameplay. So how do you feel like Dead by Daylight will shake things up a bit?
Well, okay, so when it comes to intensity, there's actually a lot of games out there that don't get a lot of love for being as fast-paced and action-packed, and but the thing is, like every sport, it gets boring after a while. Look, I love watching tournaments, watching the same fighting games, watching the same BRs, watching the same shooters over and over again. You're like, okay, now what? And people will wander away. I want to revive like the world of esports. I want to knock them on their ass. I want to give them something to be excited about and go, oh, what can we do now? I want game companies to look and go, we can make more horror competitive games. Some people are on board with this. This is what the people want. And doing this, I'm showing that not only can you add a little bit more variety, which everybody likes variety. Everybody, we're humans. We squirrel. We have ADHD. We want the newest, shiniest thing ever, and that's what I'm doing. Is look, horror can totally be in esports, super easy. And then maybe game companies will come along and they'll see this and they'll want to make competitive games. I don't see how you wouldn't want to. The fan base is there. They're screaming for it. They want it done, and this is perfect for it.
Nice.
Everybody wants to be in esports.
Nice. Well, so I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else that you feel like you wanted to touch on. I know you and I had kind of talked about, this has been the culmination of work, a culmination towards, you being able to get the category up and ready, up and running. And I mean, obviously it's taken a lot of energy. And so, I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to share that people might get super excited about. I mean, we've already covered some of the rule sets for it, opportunities in the future for more tournaments, more contest playthroughs, and things like that. But I don't know if there was anything else that kind of stood out that, oh my God, this is going to happen.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is just it's like a whole new world. I'm just excited, like, to see something new. Like, like, there's a whole audience of people that do not know what esports is.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason they don't know what esports is. It's because the games that are being played, the tournaments that are being held, are for games that they just don't like. They just don't play. And there's a way for so many people to be involved with esports, especially now with what's happening in the world and stuff. A lot of people are looking online for something new to get their, to get their social and to get something excited about. And this is something to be excited about. And I'm kind of happy I can give that to the world.
Right.
Like,
no, I would agree. I mean, it's nice to have a new change in something that, like everyone can get. I would say the diversity or, the other opportunities like you're kind of talking about. We get so wrapped up, we get so caught into, the normal of esports that, sometimes going and watching like a speed run and a dude doing like, a Link to the Past, they're entertaining, right? Because they're so much more different. And so I would agree. Like, I definitely think that DVD offers a whole new
realize
avenue.
how hard and competitive other games can be until they're shown to people. And so a lot of people out there could fall in love with a new genre, a new game. Game developers might want to reach deeper and maybe find some new thing that's never been done and pull that out and be like, well, can we be involved too? Like, the possibilities are endless, and I love all of it. Because at the heart, I'm a gamer, and gaming really is my life. So anything I can do to help the gaming industry in any way, and the community, and everybody that loves it, like, I'm here doing it. I've been here doing it since I started when I was a kid. I've always been wanting to do anything to help. And now that I'm in a position to be able to do these big things, to take other people's ideas, my ideas, and actually put them in action and make them work and make something huge happen. Like, I'm happy about it. I'm excited. I hope other people are excited too. I know they are. Silver's been over there just waiting for this for like a week. Like, why won't you tell me?
So the other thing that obviously, you know, you end up thinking about, Sammy, thank you. The other thing that you end up thinking about is, like, obviously this would open up a whole world of the horror genre. But
Oh,
you know,
yes.
that might lead to other games like, let's say, Friday the 13th, or even currently Among Us. So, you know, Among Us has been a
Yes.
huge topic, and it's
Well, it's
interesting to
a
see
good
because
hit
it's such
right
an
now,
old game,
too. Yeah.
but highly
Which is
popular.
great though, because I mean, you see Fall Guys talking about trying to get into esports. Well, you could see Among Us talking. I mean, it really does open up doors, and
Right.
that's what this is all about. At the core, I love Dead by Daylight, and I think it should have been an esports very long time ago. It's been out for forever. And you know what? It just keeps going. And there's a lot of other games like that too. Maybe we'll see old games we love revitalized and put out there for everybody. Like, there's so many aspects of this that people don't realize why I'm hyped all the time.
Right.
Because the possibilities really are just huge and mind blowing. And I'm like humbled that I got to start it, because, like, honestly, all it was is that one person needed to be like, hey, let's do it, and actually start it. And everybody was kind of afraid to. And don't be afraid. Go for it. Even if it doesn't work, you'll have tried.
Right.
And
Nice,
most people
nice.
were afraid to try.
Well, I'm definitely excited. I don't know if anyone has any questions out there that, you know, they'd love to get answered around the topic, you know, of DBD and how this is all starting up. Obviously, as stated, you can get in touch with Shadow Serpents in regards to rule sets, or any, you know, ban information on, like, you know, what you can't touch, what you can. So I know some people might have walked in, you know, after we were talking about, like, you know, no pinks in relation to character or killer items for relics you can. But yeah, I mean, tons of cool stuff, and obviously a whole lot of information, especially considering the timeline. It doesn't leave a whole lot of time to prep, so you got to get your friends together, start practicing, because it's about to go down for real.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
and
yeah.
I just dropped the link for you if you wanted to. I didn't know if you wanted to do something with it, but I did drop the link for the sign up in your Discord in our conversation just now,
Okay.
which I will be immediately putting in my channel as well. I will be on after this and going live to answer any more in-depth questions, to do more one-on-one with people that have questions, and to help in anything that I may have missed, because I'm a squirrel. So, you know, I squirrel off.
I know the pain.
I know. That's why we get along.
But yeah, regardless, like I said, I don't know if you guys have any questions. More than happy to answer anything. Just, you know, in the process of getting everything all up and running. But I figured I'd take just a second to open the floor up in case anyone does have anything, and then yeah.
I think Silver wants to sing "A Whole New World" for us. Is what I'm getting.
Oh. Oh.
He's singing it right now. He's
Oh,
just, you know, we can't hear
I would
him.
not.
But yes.
I would not even be shocked.
It's the singing man, but yeah. Oh, him and Nella have been doing it. That's
Are there
great.
going to be any builds not allowed? So, like, you know, talent trees and things like that?
Perk wise, no. And that's to make up for, like, that is the game. The perks you're running, the killer you're playing, that is the game at its core. The only thing that we are limiting is certain items and certain add-ons, like killer add-ons, and then certain survivor items, and the offerings, because offerings just, they're all over the place. It's hard to police them, you know, just no. But when it comes to perks, killer and survivor, play how you play. We want to see how you play. We want to know what you do with those perks. We want to see combinations that we've never even seen anybody use before. Like, a lot of people have watched these really big streamers, and then gone and built their builds based off the streamers, which is a thing that people do. But there are brilliant minds out there that are running combinations and being Dead by Daylight gods that we don't know about, and I want to see it. I want you to show off what you've got. I want to see what weird builds work out that I had no idea of. I've been doing this for forever now, and I'm excited to see what crazy stuff people are doing.
Well, I'm definitely excited to see it too. Now, you said something.
Swamp builds are terrible. They're so mean. Swamp plays Killer. I've stolen his builds for Killer. They're mean. They're evil, but they're fun. They don't always work either.
Something else that I wanted to touch on. You, I think you had brought this up to me before. This is all going to be broadcast through Twitch, or was it Trovo?
Trovo. For the very first one, yes. For the very first one, it is going to be broadcast on Trovo, on Brutal Democracy's Trovo. I am in talks to get the second one on Twitch. I can promise nothing at the moment, but a lot of tournaments take place on Trovo. That's the whole thing. That doesn't mean you can't stream if you're streaming from Twitch. We don't care. Have fun. Stream whatever you want to. I would like to try to see some of the tournaments take place on platforms and other things, and then be put up on YouTube. Like, this is all stuff we're going through and figuring out and stuff. But yeah, the very first one will be taking place on Trovo. Don't worry. Follow me on my socials. Like, follow him. Follow, like, anybody. Be looking for the hashtags, Dead by Daylight tournament, Esports Dead by Daylight, anything like that. It's going to be posted. It will be easy to be found. I will be blowing it up. My mods will be blowing it up. My friends will be blowing it up. The community itself will be blowing it up. We're going to have that information easy to find as possible. And if you need anything, ask me. Like, come find me. You don't have to even follow me. You don't even have to follow me. Just ask me. I have no problem with that.
Legit.
That's Trovo. It's another platform that does streaming. It is run by Tencent. It's a newer one, but it's where a lot of the esports people are living at now. So that's why it's going to be on Trovo to start off with, because it is such a big esports kind of thing. But I am going to make sure it ends up other places as well. It's only fair to the entire fan base to kind of spread the love around.
Right. Well, like I said, I'm super excited. I'm excited at the potential that, obviously Dead by Daylight's going to have within an esports world, an esports community. But yeah, like I would be thrilled to see it obviously come over to Twitch, and even multiple platforms, Facebook, YouTube, everything. Like ultimately at the end of the day, the outreach or the growth of DBD in an esports category is dependent on the availability of it anywhere.
Yep. And that's what I'm right in the thick of now, is making sure that it ends up everywhere. It's not limited to just one place. Because, I don't think any sports are really limited to any one place. Because it's for the world.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Well, cool. I'm excited to see the potential. I don't know if you, as stated, I don't know if you have anything else that you wanted to add around DBD, and then we can go over that.
So I love this game, and I'm really happy I get to do something to. Like, I've always brought new people. I just got a message earlier saying, "Guess who downloaded DBD?" from one of my followers from way back that's been watching me play it for over a year and never got the game.
Nice.
But I'm constantly, showing people this and getting them to fall in love with it. I got somebody that plays Apex and Apex only, get on and play Killer, and now they're thoroughly addicted, and it's wonderful. Like, it's just great. Chucky for Killer. Yes, we would love to have Chucky for Killer. That would be amazing. Tiny little psycho with a knife. He can't see, would be terrifying.
Bro, that'd be horrible.
That would scare me.
You wouldn't be able to see anything. It'd just be like a random little doll creeps up on you from out of the bushes.
There is a killer. Yeah, exactly. Well, and see, it's the thing. There's killers that are invisible. There's killers that you can't hear coming. Like they have Amanda dressed in the pig costume from Saw, crouched down, and she just pops out at you. I mean, there's Michael Myers, there's Ghostface, there's a lot of sneaky killers, and then there's just the out in your face ones that are terrifying. The clown can be dressed up like a giant purple like elephant. You're like, why are you? Oh my gosh, you're murdering me! And yeah, it's great. Yes, Bing Bong, poor Bing Bong.
Well,
Wraith is terrifying.
the diversity definitely adds to I would say the excitement around it, because having an open pool from talents and everything like that, it makes it more inviting to newer players, to pros, as it were. People have been playing DBD since launch. The gates are open until you're narrowing everything down and saying, you know what, this is our refined rule set, we're 100% ready to go, and we know that you're going to have a great experience when you show up here for our tournament.
Which is what we're trying to do, and we will learn together on our way doing this, because that's how every other game is done it too. What a lot of people don't realize is that every game, when it started doing esports, it had issues.
Right.
There was stuff they had to change. There was, oops, that doesn't work, or oh no, we didn't know you could do that.
Right.
We better, it's all fine tuned, and stuff is still being fine tuned. You can still find things on Call of Duty tournaments that they're changing, like, oh, like that guy was hacking and we didn't even know it could be done that way. And the same thing is probably going to happen here. But the difference is that the community is actually cool enough. They'll call you out. They know what you're doing. They know how you're doing it. They'll call you out and we can check on it. So I think, like, whereas other esports, people are just going to laugh when, hacking or cheating happens, in this community, we're just going to call you on it and be like, no, that's not any fun. You suck. Try again. Don't do it. You got caught. Which doesn't happen to esports. So I'm actually excited for that. Like, the community may be slightly a bit toxic, but I think a lot of the more competitive games are. But we're weirdly positively toxic, which is also my entire attitude and perceptive of life. So it works really well together.
Nice. Well, I'm obviously excited. I'm excited to see what the events are. And as stated, if you guys are looking for any links for where they're going to be broadcasting this, the rule sets, I'll end up posting those when we're all said and done. Just because, like, I can't look at my Discord on this computer, copy them, and then paste them over while you're in the call with me.
That'd be weird.
Normal stuff.
Like Inception happened. Yeah, that'd be bad.
But regardless, I'll post those up before we actually close out for the night. And then again, if you want them, you can feel free, get in touch with Shadow Serpents. I'll do another shout out. You can find her right here. Head on over to her page, get in touch with her, join her Discord, and then whenever you said you already have launched your Discord around the DVD esports.
No, I haven't. I was trying to see if I would need to, and after today and stuff, I think I definitely will have to do a Discord for it. If nothing else, for people that don't have the friends to I need a survive with friends group and they need a killer. Like, we can put people together and let them have fun with it. So,
but yeah, I mean,
I'm working on that shortly.
I'm excited regardless. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'll definitely end up watching them, because even though I don't really play that much, I still think it's going to be entertaining, especially with Peril involved.
But yeah, Peril. I was like, we kept missing each other, and I was like, I need to talk to you, sir. We caught up, and he's excited. He's very excited. He loves that game. Like, even he plays a lot of other things now and stuff, but he's still, that's his main game. That's his baby. That's what he's the most known for. And he was super excited to do it. And he's such a good hype man. He really is. And just watching him lose it over things people didn't like. He did it to me when I was playing with him, and I was like, "Why? You could be a great narrator." There it is. Let's make that man a commentator.
Right.
So, Oh yeah, Perril's amazing. He's a good guy, and you never want to be caught with him if you accidentally crash a wedding.
That sounds like an interesting story.
That happened in the hotel where you and me met.
Oh, nice.
He came and visited me there too, and we walked into the lobby, and there was a random wedding going on, and us were both very loud and cannot maintain serious face. So I was trying desperately not to look at him. He was trying, and of course we just looked at each other and then like tried not to dissolve in giggles while this gorgeous wedding is taking place in this fancy haunted hotel in, you know, San Antonio, and we end up on the balcony above it watching it and trying to be respectful, yet we're nosy. I mean, come on, we're nosy and trying not to be loud and not trying to like, but we totally just walked. We had to go that way to get up to the room. There was no getting around it. You know, Swamp was there. It was almost more disruptive than me and Peril, which is very hard to do. But yeah, pretty sure that we thought we were far enough away when we finally dissolved and just couldn't stop laughing at the absurdity of this happened randomly of all things with us two involved. And I'm pretty sure because he made a fan that day. One of the groomsmen came out into the outer area we're at outside the wedding and was like, "You're Peril Sparks," and fanboyed. It was beautiful. It was, we were cracking up. Like, odds, you know?
The odds are definitely small. I mean, like, Peril's a big guy, but I'm just saying, like, there are a lot of people out there.
PAX, but yeah, he's a random groomsman in a wedding, and PAX happen to be happening, and you meet a fan. Like, it's great. Like, and he was so polite about it too, and we were like, "Did we ruin it?" And he was like, "No, you guys were great," and we're like, "Okay."
Nice. Yeah, well, I mean, hey, regardless, obviously, it's been great. I really appreciate you coming forward with all the information that we needed in order to get this up and running. But I can't wait. I mean, we're 2 weeks out before your first tournament.
I know. Let's not remind me as I just, you know, process all of the craziness of let's do it quick, and let's change the world, because I apparently only have one speed, and that's full speed ahead. It seems to be working though, so
I mean, I know that feeling.
Fun.
You always got to be running.
Yeah, that's what you do too. Yeah, he's just like, I don't know when you sleep. I'd still like to know. And
I don't think I do,
because when I told him, by the way, hey, I would love if you could help me with the thing, and I was being kind of passive and kind of like, he did this. I'm not joking. He was like, and had to like, I can't say anything, but yes, whisper, yes, and like, yeah. So when it comes to hype men, shoutcasters, and people just generally excited about really cool things and understanding how big this is, you are freaking amazing.
Well,
like,
thank you.
Anybody that's not following, you should be following him already, hopefully. And
thank you. I do appreciate it. I mean, like, what's not to be excited about? And any new involvements, new announcements are always, they're enjoyable. You know, like I always get excited about gaming news. It's such a sweet spot for me, I guess.
Yeah, it apparently is. Not everybody's excited about gaming news, but people don't understand that the gaming news is what makes different games happen and the changes happen in the world of gaming. So like they just play their games and a game comes out and then they wonder why another game didn't come out. Like, stay focused, look at your news, put your voice in, let it be heard. Maybe you can get a game that you wanted to come out that got stalled for whatever reason to actually come out, because at the end of the day, game developers and everybody else, they are looking for what the people want. If you don't speak up, you lose out.
Nice. Yeah, I would tend to agree. I mean, there's always opportunities through independent titles and then pushing independent titles. Yeah. I always say that a lot of indie games end up being better than a lot of the AAA stuff, just because that's their passion, that's their lifeblood. They have to succeed, and so that drive and that motivation ends up pushing really good content.
It's awesome.
Well,
I'm
cool.
Excited.
Shadow Serpents, obviously it's been a blast. We'll end up sticking this up on YouTube for anyone out there who wasn't here for the whole event, and then we've got some links we'll end up throwing in chat as soon as I can pull them from the Discord. But regardless, Shadow Serpents, it's been an absolute blessing, and I'm looking forward to hearing what's going on in the next 2 weeks.
Looking forward to you trying the game out with me one day.
I definitely need to. I've had about a billion games on my backlog that I'm still trying to get through, like Control and Assassin's Creed and DBD, and it's an endless list.
But see, now you don't have an excuse for this one because you broke news out over it. So kind of now you have to play it so you can understand all of the point systems I was talking about. So
pretty much
saying, I'll teach you.
There was a couple times where like I've had people interact with me on like Twitter or whatever, and like I knew it was like double blood points weekend and they didn't even know, like just because I see news and I'm like, aren't you excited? Like you should be excited. Like now you need to get on and play. And they're like, oh my god, yeah, do you play? I'm like, no. They're like, well, how did you know? Like, I don't know, just pay attention. I don't know.
Why are you so excited when I didn't even know? And you're like, because it's news. All right, you're a newsophile. That's a thing. Look it up. Not sure that's the right word for it, but that's definitely you. That is definitely you.
Well, regardless, again, thank you so much for the opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be a blast.
It is.
So for anyone who is still looking for information in regards to Dead by Daylight, the Discord, looking for teams that you can play with, looking for more people that you can play with, be it killer or survivor, get a team together and start practicing with them. It's gonna be about 2 weeks before the tournament starts, so feel free. You're definitely going to want to start looking now. You can get in touch with this woman. The link is right there in the chat. She's an outstanding character. I would also recommend that you drop her a follow. Anything from obviously Dead by Daylight to Apex, and she's also a partner Namco Bandai streamer, creator. So a lot of different categories that Shadow's been getting into, or obviously is still into. But an absolute blast to be around. So definitely 10 out of 10 would recommend it.
Aw, 10 out of 10 then disagree that I'm bad for your health, but I play a lot of variety games, that's true.
Well, Shadow, it's been great having you. Obviously, we're gonna transition over. I'll probably stop just so we've got a nice little clip to throw up on YouTube for all of your DBD fans. And yeah, it's been great having you.
It's been great being here, and the hype is real. You are awesome as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. It was a blast.
And I Silver, he's lying to you. He's not a killer. He's a survivor.
He definitely is. Are you kidding me? Have you seen him? He's great.
I know. He sings for you too. It's great.
I know. He does. Either way, Shadow, have a great day.
You too. I'll see you later. And yeah, I'm gonna go answer any more questions here in a moment. So if keep open 2 tabs because you're still going, right? You gonna do something else after this?
I'm probably going to stop shortly after so I can get back to the charity stuff.
All right. Good luck with the charity. By the way, he's doing amazing charity stuff right now. It's for St. Jude's, right?
Mm-hmm, that's correct.
Is that it? Or yeah, I mean, he's doing like a couple weeks of this, and he agreed to do this thing right here in the middle of doing huge charity streaming. Like, there's so many streamers involved. There's so much love. So please, follow him, give him some love, check it out. It's on Twitter. I've retweeted it. There's a lot of streamers trying to raise money for St. Jude's. Get involved and make a difference.
It's going to be a good time to try and change some lives and help people. So I'm excited.
Excited for you, and like, your drive is crazy, man. It is crazy.
Well, thank you. That's kind of you. I do appreciate it. We put in a lot of energy. A lot of people have put in energy into making this happen, and I'm really blessed. I think it's going to be a great push.
I think so too. I should have gotten involved. Remember, I'll be back up if you need it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We might end up needing it, so we'll see. But I think it's going to be awesome. I appreciate the support. And guys, thank you for your support. Anyone who has been involved as of yet. But Shadow Serpents, hopefully, no matter what you're doing, you have a great day.
You too.